Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week we're talking road bike or gravel bike. Which one should you get? But before we get into today's video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss this awesome cycling content on this channel. So like I said, today we're talking road bike and gravel bike, and which one should be the one you buy? What's the difference? Which one is going to be better for me? So first off, let's start with what bikes we have in front of us here. So this, my road bike here, is a Trek 1.2 from like 2011. I've had this bike for about 9 years. I've had this bike a long time. I've changed multiple things on it, and it's done me good. It works really good as a road bike. And that's definitely what I use this as. At a point, I had my road bike and I had my mountain bike. And mountain bike went on trails, this went on the road, and that's kind of how things work, and it's worked really, really well for me. Over here behind me we have my Poseidon Redwood, and this bike, of course, gravel bike. It's gone through quite a few changes over the past year that we've had it, and in its current form, it's doing me great. It's working great. Of course, we have some more stuff coming for it to do a couple little upgrades, but this bike ultimately has been working great for me as a gravel bike, kind of do everything bike here. So road bike and gravel bike, there's obviously some differences to them, especially in geometry, but we're not talking about geometry today. We're talking about seat of the butt riding in your bike. Which one's the better one for you? So you can look up geometry for yourselves. Every brand's gonna have different geometry to it. So in general, a road bike is gonna have a skinnier, kind of smoother, slicker tire, as you can see on my road bike here. A little bit smoother of a tire, and that's mainly because you're on the road. So that's maybe one of the factors to see on a road bike versus, of course, a gravel bike. You're gonna see a little bit more of a knobby tire in general. And of course, that's to grip on the gravel roads while still being able to roll on the road semi-decently. Smooth packed, you can still do that, but if you hit those kind of gnarlier gravel roads, you're gonna have no problem with this tire at all. So those are gonna be your differences there. It used to be the fact that a gravel bike was gonna have a little bit wider of a tire. However, road bikes, especially more modern road bikes, their tires are getting just as wide up to the point of a gravel bike. They're getting up to 32, 35, 38 millimeter wide tires. Whereas gravel bikes, you really start right around a 38 millimeter tire and kind of go up from there. So that used to be a determining factor between these bikes, but that's not really the case anymore. Of course, with a road bike, you're generally gonna have a 700C wheel, which comes up to like a 28-inch wheel. Gravel bikes, you can find a 650B or a 700C. In this case, either a 650B, which kind of comes out to like a 27.5 is what that comes out to. So ultimately, between the two wheels on this bike, there's like half an inch difference, but with the taller sidewall and the larger tire on the gravel bike, they actually come out pretty close in size to each other, which is kind of crazy to think about, but they do come out pretty close in size. So I had never seen a back-to-back test between a road bike and a gravel bike just to see which one would work better in certain situations. So what I did this week, I went ahead and I took 2 back-to-back rides, 2 days in a row, same kind of conditions on each ride. So I took the road bike first. So pretty much the course I took is exactly the same between the two bikes. Exactly the same course, same distance, which is about 6.3 miles. Had 145 foot of elevation gain. Like I've said before in my videos, I don't have much elevation gain around me unless you really go looking for it. So a little bit of elevation gain, and ultimately it was a pretty simple ride. It was kind of chillier in the mornings. I rode these about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning here, and of course it's been cold in the morning again. So it was kind of chilly, a little bit of wind, but I rode them roughly about the same conditions. About as scientific as we do here on Your Favorite Cyclist. So we rode them both on there. Road bike was first. We rode that the first day. So right up here on the screen, you can see ultimately it took us 24 minutes, it took us just under 25 minutes to do the ride of moving time. And then average speed, we were averaging about 15.2 miles an hour. So we did move a little bit, so we were moving pretty good on the road bike there. And it has been a while since I've taken that on the road, but we were moving pretty good on that bike. Then if we move over to our gravel bikes. So we took the gravel bike the next day. Again, same exact route as before. Moving time, 25.43 seconds. So ultimately we're about 45 seconds longer on the gravel bike than we were on the road bike. And we went 14.7 as our average. So about a half mile an hour difference. So there was some difference between the two. Now obviously there's a difference between the two, and a lot of that comes down to the road bikes having a little more aerodynamic factors to it, and then of course the skinnier tires too. Skinnier tires, less rolling resistance, a little bit more rolling resistance here with the gravel tires. And then of course the road bike has this more aerodynamic position while you're riding it. It's made to be stretched out a little farther, so you're kind of down in the drops and you can ride and you just get the airflow going over you, especially since it was a little windy outside. It really just helps the wind go over you. So, like I said, we're not talking about like scientific stuff here. We're talking about seat of your butt. Which one felt better on that ride? And ultimately it comes down to, the gravel bike actually felt more comfortable to me. And there's multiple reasons for that. Number one, I live in the real world here, and the real world has crappy streets, horrible streets. Big old cracks in the street, potholes, water main covers, all of that. It's not the greatest conditions you could be in. And with that being the case, these bigger tires here, they give you just more confidence. More confidence, a little bit smoother of a ride. I even had these pumped up to like 55 PSI because I was doing a road ride this time. And this just ultimately felt far more comfortable than the road bike. The road bike, you felt every little jarring thing come through you, and it ultimately wasn't a fun ride. It felt more like a fitness ride. You're just riding to do fitness. You're not riding to enjoy the ride, which is what I encourage people to do. Enjoy the ride. Have some fun out riding, and the road bike just didn't feel that way for me. The gravel bike felt like I was enjoying the ride and having a lot more fun. And there's an interesting thing that I noticed while I was riding the road bike and the gravel bike. So both these bikes have the exact same bell, the Nog Wii. They both have the exact same bell on them, and the road bike bell kept going off because of the crappy road conditions. It kept dinging and rattling and making all sorts of noise, while the gravel bike stayed relatively quiet. It maybe rattled once or twice, but it never actually dunged the bell. It never did that at all. Versus the road bike, pretty much the whole time. It was dinging the bell all the time. Coming back from the ride, my hands and body was a little bit sore from this, because again, we have pretty cruddy roads around here, and it just was not comfortable to ride. And you will feel everything on that bike. If it's a crappy road, you're gonna feel every single thing on that bike. This bike I actually feel pretty comfortable, and I feel like I can keep on going on these roads up here. So, coming from that, if you were to have like perfect road conditions and you just want to ride on the road, this bike here, a road bike, going to be a great option for you. If you're in the real world where your road conditions suck and there's kind of crappy potholes and cracks in the road and uneven drainage on the side of the roads, the gravel bike just gives you more confidence. It grips onto those, helps you get over those helps you get over those imperfections of the road a lot easier, a lot more comfortable, and just more confident. That's the way I felt, just more confidence inspiring on the gravel bike. And then of course, if you take these two bikes, which I've done on both these bikes, and take them to the same place and take them off road on some dirt, right down the street from my house we have a nice area where there's a little bit of hard packed dirt, sand, and then it kind of turns into a little bit of rockiness and goes back to a road. And I've taken both these bikes in that area before. The road bike doesn't do good at all. It's rough. When it comes to that kind of conditions, it does not do good. It does okay on the hard packed dirt. It does okay on that. Once it comes to the sand and the small pebble and the small rocks, it just doesn't do it. It does not work good. Versus the gravel bike, it excels in all those conditions. No problems at all. You might feel the back end slip a little bit in the looser sand, but it just keeps on going. It doesn't stop and sink itself and dig itself to China like the road bike does. So back when I started riding bikes, it was you had a mountain bike and you had a road bike, and ultimately your question in the morning was, what am I going to ride today? Is it going to be trails or is it going to be roads? And that line has gotten blurred by the gravel bike. You're able to do everything and everything well. And I think that's why I like the gravel bike so much. You go out and you don't have the boundaries of just riding on the road, just riding on the trails. You can easily ride the road wherever you want to go pretty efficiently. And then as you're riding down the road, all of a sudden you see a cool path off to the side. And instead of saying, oh, I'll come back later on my mountain bike, you just turn the bike and you go on that trail. And that's where I think the fun comes in with the gravel bike. So for me, it kind of boils down to ultimately one thing here. If you're looking to do roads and hard packed gravel, a road bike may be a good option for you. Of course, the road bike is going to be more efficient, be able to put more miles down faster. That's just the way the bike is designed to be. It's just going to be better at that than a gravel bike in general. If you're looking to get out there and explore and have fun with your bike and not be constrained to one thing and be able to do a lot of things really well, a gravel bike is going to be the awesome option to have. Like I showed in my comparison earlier, there really wasn't much of a difference, about half a mile an hour difference between the two bikes. On the same 6-mile route, that's all there was. It really doesn't make too much of a difference. And for me, it used to be when I would go and I'd say, hey, I'm going for a road ride, a longer road ride, I would grab the road bike. It's now the opposite. I actually grab the gravel bike first because I find it more comfortable and just the more fun of a bike, more stable, more fun. I enjoy this bike far more than my road bike. So there's my thoughts on road bike versus gravel bike there. Hopefully that's helped you guys. If not, at least you found it entertaining. I mean, it's kind of entertaining to see that. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm gonna have a pinned comment down below. Let me know, do you guys ride a road bike or a gravel bike? What's your bike of choice? And of course, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.